Introducing Instagram teen accounts. A new way to keep your teen safer as they grow. Like making sure they always have their seatbelt on.
All right, sweetie pie, buckle up. Good job.
Or ring the bell on their bike.
Okay, kid, give it a try. Nice.
Or remember their elbow pads.
Knees too, okay? Yep. There you go.
New Instagram teen accounts. Automatic protections for who can contact your teen and the content they can see.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Mennonites.
I can't hear it here on this one. What am I doing wrong?
Well, might help if you just plugged her in.
Oh, okay, because I thought it was plugged in over there.
No.
All right, fantastic.
Yeah. That's something.
Doesn't it work well when it's plugged in? So, all right, you were talking about 150 years ago.
Let me tell you, 1873, on this date, a delegation of German Mennonites from Russia arrived in St. Paul to assess the state for settlement. Mennonite settler colonists soon established homesteads around Mountain Lake.
When you got settled here, I said they headed immediately for Mountain Lake, which we, of course, drove through on the way to the Twin Cities all the time. Very close to Fulda, within an hour. But it was a hardcore Mennonite community up to at least into the 60s or 70s. It was pretty much.
Who are the Mennonites?
If you were not a Mennonite, you probably weren't a successful merchant in that town for a long time. Yes.
I wonder if Royce came over in that crowd.
Yeah, they weren't Mennonites. So they were.
What is a
Catholics.
Mennonite? Like an Amish?
Yeah, I think so. They're very strict. I think they are. But Mountain Lake, big basketball powerhouse. They won a state title in the early years, and for years they were good in basketball.
Huh.
And I want to punch myself in the head. Because Butterfield, which is a much smaller town, was their big rival in basketball, right? Big rival in all sports. Now they're merged together, I believe. Or at least they're merged with somebody. But there was a guy that I did a column on about 15 years ago. What the hell was his name? He had some nickname. He was famous for 3 counties, you know. But one year, they had lost 50-some games in a row to Mountain Lake. He slept on the roof of the bank.
Oh.
And before the game, he was going to sleep on the roof of the bank until Butterfield defeated Mountain Lake. And Butterfield had a good team. I think they played twice that year. The second time they beat him, so he got to come off the bank. But I called this guy. But he was interviewed, of course, on Boone and Erickson while he was up on top of the bank waiting for that. Now, this was years later when I wrote about him. But the best thing was he was a legend who would go to someplace up by Leech Lake every summer and spend 2-3 weeks drinking and fishing. But there was a road that they drove up. He'd do it 2-3 times a year, but there was a road they drove up, kind of a country road that they'd take all the way up. And he would stop at all the bars on the right on the way up.
Right.
And then all the bars on the right on the way back. So they would hit every bar going up. I think somebody else was driving, which would have been good.
So this guy wasn't a player. He was a town banker.
He just decided the bank was the best place to sleep. He was just a town character.
All right.
But big dislike for Mountain Lake, like every small town, like Fulda not liking Slayton. It was the same kind of thing. But Butterfield was really like the poor stepchild of Mountain Lake. So But Mountain Lake, I remember a family moved to Fulda. It was a Lutheran family. They basically had to get out because they were going to own a business, but they weren't Mennonites, so it didn't work. So I don't know when that changed, probably 50 years ago. But anyway.
I have a Twins observation.
I can't wait.
Of all the injuries they've had, supposedly, it's lucky Royce Lewis is not dead.
And they told us he didn't have a concussion. Let's see what they're saying today about the stiffness of his neck.
He landed on his face.
Yes. Well, then his neck was...
It looked like he wanted to do a flip, but it was stopped by his face.
Yes. And I'm really worried about the stiff neck.
So am I.
If he plays Tuesday, I'll be shocked. But somebody has to play.
What about tonight?
They don't play tonight.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Well, according to the grid, they do.
They don't play in Tampa tonight, do they?
Oh, according to the Pioneer Press grid, they play tonight, but maybe I'm wrong. They don't play tonight. They play tomorrow night in Tampa.
Yes, they get a day off.
Yeah.
Here's the, yes, that was a little frightening, to say the least. The first baseman shouldn't be there, but he was trying to catch the ball. So.
Right.
And there's a big lug, too, that first baseman. So, yeah, that was a little frightening. And, was it Thursday or Friday? He took the big divot out in left field running after him. You weren't seeing it, but it looked like there goes his knee. There goes his knee again. That didn't happen either.
How's the line go, Pat? If it wasn't bad luck, he'd have no luck at all.
Yeah, that's probably it. Here's the big problem, though.
Don't tell me we're on. Are we on a Buxton watch?
Well, he should play Tuesday. He got drilled with a 97 mile an hour fastball straight in the rib, so it was sore. So they probably gave him an extra day, but he was sore. But he's been striking out at a rate that's unbelievable.
So is Kepler.
So is Gallo. Kepler should be done. Kepler should not.
I agree with you.
Kepler should not be on the team Tuesday. You got the Wallner kid from North St. Paul. Not North St. Paul, one of the St. Paul suburbs. Where the hell's he from?
I don't know.
He's tearing it up. You got Larnick and St. Paul, both those guys. They're both left-handed hitting outfielders. It's over. This is year 4 of not being able to produce. There's nobody that's going to give you anything for him. There's no sense of keeping him any longer. Pay him off and say... And if he goes someplace and succeeds, all that does is, that's fine. Who cares? Because you have proven to yourself, whatever's wrong with him, you can't fix him. Mm-hmm. You can't fix him, so let him go.
Will that happen?
I think so. I got to think we're going to read Tuesday that he was cleared waivers and designated for assignment or something. I can't believe he's going to be in the lineup Tuesday. He's pathetic. 192 now. Mm-hmm. And remember when we got the shift, we got rid of the shifts because he hit the ball to the right field more than anybody. This was going to help him. So without those shift hits, he might be 180. So I don't know. Yeah, he's got to go. It's just you got to admit it doesn't work. You're not going to get anything for him anyway, and nobody's going to trade you anything. So just let him go and give somebody else a try.
Whatever happened to Sano? Do we know?
He is still in the Dominican, as far as we know. He got a $3 million buyout on his. He had a $27 million. He made $9 million a year for 3 years, 20, 21, 22, and then there's a $3 million buyout that they paid him for this year. So I don't know if he decided to, spend a year getting in shape and looking for a job next spring. But you would have thought that he would have went to Japan or Korea or someplace, but nobody knows. He's been asked. People have asked about it, and they've had a hard time contacting him.
Are we on a Korea watch?
Here's what has me irritated about that. We got this plantar fasciitis, Joe.
That's just warts on your heel, isn't it?
Well, not warts. It's like the tendon or whatever's underneath there stretched out or something. Yeah. But the Minnesota Timberwolves invented plantar fasciitis. None of us had ever heard of it until the mid-'90s when their point guard, Michael Williams, got it, and he missed like the entire season. But here you got, so it's the connection between the heel and the arch, right?
Okay.
And that thing is stretched out. So now he doesn't play all weekend. Now you're going to Tampa and Toronto to play on artificial turf for 6 games. Why not put him on a DL? Let him spend the 10 days here. Stay in the batting cage until you can recognize the difference between a curveball and a fastball that you're taking down the middle of the plate, and try to get your act together, and then bring him back when you get back home. Do something. It's Joe, I think it's now 21 games, which is out of 61, that they've scored 2 runs or fewer. That's enormous.
The boys, they're not exciting to watch.
They certainly aren't at the plate, that's for sure. The pitching, I mean, Joe Ryan was as good as you can get yesterday. He loses, and Sonny Gray was. If Sonny Gray, that kid, hadn't popped up and hit the 2-run homer, he was going to pitch 7 innings in about 20 minutes. It was that game was just flying, and then they managed. But if you get behind in the 6th, 7th inning, now you know you're lost. They rallied on Thursday. They got 3 runs in the 8th. It was a miracle, and then won it in extra innings. But this is the best starting pitching they've had in years, and it doesn't make any difference. I like the wrestler, though. I like the kid from North St. Paul, Louis Varlin.
Yeah. He's
a wrestler.
Is he?
All-time winning wrestler at North St. Paul.
Really?
He pitches like a wrestler.
Yeah.
He goes, they showed a little tape of him. He goes out an hour before the game, studies the mound. He does this whole prep thing and does all this visionary work, and he is the proverbial bulldog, that kid.
Good.
Some nights his stuff is not going to be great, but he goes after them for sure. And of course, his brother, older brother by about 18, I don't know how many months. I know that Mom, when the 2 brothers and a daughter were born, she had 3 in diapers. She had they aren't Irish, but they had the Irish triplets. You know?
Yeah.
So his brother started the season with Milwaukee, a Rule 5 draft, Gus, but then he got hurt. Then he got hammered a couple of times. I think they might have him back on the disabled list or something. But they were really close together, and as far as age was concerned, and both pitched at that prestigious baseball hotbed, Concordia in St. Paul.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I meant to look at the Milwaukee Brewers box score yesterday. Were they home yesterday?
Yes, I believe so.
Well, no, because they only drew 17,000. That smacks of Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah, that's where it was.
Because I saw a lot of traffic heading to that ballpark, but I don't think they were home.
No, they probably weren't. No, they couldn't have been. How about that? Today's Star Tribune, 4-page sports section.
Yeah.
That's a little frightening on Monday.
That's what we have every day.
Well, once in a while, the Star Tribune during the week, you'll have 6 pages, but 1.5 of them will be classified.
How about these games that get over before 10 o'clock and sometimes the paper says late?
Not us. Oh, maybe not. This year we're making a lot more runs because the games are getting over.
Guess who the publisher is of the Chicago Tribune?
Lay it on.
Par Ritter. That phony. That little twerp.
Wow.
And they have White Sox in Detroit on Friday night were done before 10.
Didn't
and
make
the
the
Saturday morning Chicago Tribune did not have the score.
Well, our new second baseball writer is Bobby Nightingale Jr.
Yeah.
Bobby Nightingale was working 5 years for the Cincinnati Enquirer, which is a Gannett paper. And his deadline for his Reds copy for the next day's print edition was 1:30 in the afternoon. They got no finals in.
What?
Gannett was not getting...
They're just putting them there. Well, they're already out of business. They're hastening it.
Yes. There's no purpose. Who would subscribe to a
How did this
paper
Par Ritter phony end up as the publisher of the...
Where he ended up at our place,
Yeah,
too, right?
Then he got ran out of there because he stole proprietary advertising stuff from the Pioneer Press.
That's right. After he came over and he was going to remodel the Pioneer Press and lasted about how did he last a year before he bailed?
Don't know, not too long.
I don't know how the hell they hired him. I can't remember who owned the Star Tribune when they hired him. I don't know. Might have been that hedge fund.
You know, Parr was very good at one thing, always having a bottle of water with him because that made him look like an executive. You have to have that bottle of water.
Well, he had one thing going for him. He was a Ritter.
Yeah, that must still be going for him.
Yeah, that is weird. How could he get hired there?
I don't know because I don't even know who owns him anymore. I think the same people who own the Pioneer Press. I think it's that hedge fund guy.
Digital media?
Yeah. Because it ain't that Zelly guy, the real estate developer.
No,
He's gone.
he sold it again?
Yeah.
Yeah, he pretty much disemboweled it, right?
It's a bad paper, man. There's nothing in it. There's nothing.
Too bad.
It's just terrible.
I know Chip told me that they had Chip Scoggins. There was a rumor out that they had 6 sports writers, which can't be true, but they had 6 guys actually covering all these pro teams and everything in town. He was there in late 80s, early 90s. 6 prep writers.
Yeah, I believe
had
that.
6 full-time prep writers, because they covered the hell out of the preps back then.
How's the Miami paper doing? They got to be following the Heat and the Panthers.
Yeah, they should. I don't know how they're doing. Tampa Bay, though, Tampa Times.
Yeah,
they're printing 2 days a week.
Oh,
the rest of the time it's online. They're printing 2 days a week, and they're the only paper left because they ran the Tribune out of business.
Oh.
The Tampa Tribune.
I predict the Panthers will also get a road victory tonight, and both Miami clubs will go back with a split.
The Panthers, I watched a little bit of that game. I thought they were the better team for what I was watching, but then Vegas gets the tie-breaking goal, so makes it 3-2. You know what? Who gets the next one is really the motto of the NHL these days in the third. Mm-hmm. As Tommy Reed once said, in overtime, the next goal will be a big one. And
that's right. It usually is.
It is. But, boy, it seems a long while ago our team was eliminated, wasn't it? Both our teams. It seems a long time ago.
Well, I don't think the Wild played in May.
No, they didn't.
I think they were done by May.
They won 2, though. Oh, they were ahead 2-1. That's right. Then they lost 3 straight.
Yeah.
I asked Luke, grandson Luke, who's a big Wild fan. He was the Jinx for a while.
Right.
He went, and then last year he was the winner. He went from the Jinx to the Winx. Last year he won 2 years ago, he won a lot of games. 7 or 8 times he said they won every time he was there. But he was breaking it down that they just don't have that. Once without Kaprizov, they not scoring goals. They don't have it. Yeah,
no penalty kill.
Play. He says he's 13, and he said they do this to us every year. Yeah. I said, yeah, okay.
Joe, your memory is great. The Minnesota Wild did not make it to May. Last game of the year, April 28th, when they were eliminated.
They're at the lake already.
Oh, man. The people I felt sorry for were the bar owners on West 7th.
Oh,
they had, when it was when they had 2-1 lead, they had dreams of a May bonanza, didn't they?
How about if they were still playing in this weather? Those barkeeps couldn't keep the inventory.
No, they'd have to. I went into Tom Reed's before Game 4, which became the key game of the series. And 2 hours before the game, it was hand-to-hand combat trying to get a drink. And it looked like that way all the way up and down the street.
Yeah, and
they are not afraid to spend money, Wild fans.
No.
First of all, they got the jerseys and they got the kids coming to the games with them, and then they got if you don't bring your kids, you spend 2 hours on the West 7th going to the various establishments, which is great. You have heard me discuss my relationship with Josh Arnold for some time. The reason I advocate that you give Josh a call is simple. trust, and results. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions. As has been said, through all of our relationship, past results do not guarantee future returns. And while that is true, Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. You can understand that Josh will make sure you are not paying more in fees than you are seeing in returns. Yes, that is more common than you would like to think. Do yourself a favor and have a booking with Josh for the 48-minute free evaluation. This is a no-obligation meeting. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. You will be glad that you did.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Patrick Royce is a paid endorser. Are you familiar with the Los Angeles Country Club?
Supposed to be the best.
I'm not aware of it.
Well, because they never let him on. This is the first time they let him on. I think they had did they have a U.S. amateur there or something?
I don't know.
Let him on again.
I'm looking forward to it because we get primetime golf.
The USGA and had been trying to get on there for years, and they won. It's supposed to be the best golf course in
Is it
LA.
near Riviera? I wonder where it is. I'll have to Google it.
I've driven by it. There's a road that goes through it, so it's split.
Oh.
It's split. Kind of. There's Chad Hartman has played there a few times because when he was with the Timberwolves, they travel around, and he says it's fabulous. So, I'm anxious to see it. But it's they
it's this week.
They wouldn't. They wouldn't let him on. It is this. Well, it ends. Yeah, isn't it this week?
Usually it's Father's Day, and that's the next week.
Yeah, so, maybe it's not till next week. When is it?
Well, let's look her up, Pat.
Yeah, what do you think?
Let's look her up.
Roscoe, when's the U.S. Open?
I'm going to look her up.
It should be. I'm 99% sure it's this weekend because I just saw. Well, actually, maybe it could be next week.
I think it might be next week because the Memorial and the U.S. Open aren't back to back.
A quick Google search.
Yes.
I'm on it.
Just make sure you're not looking up the Columbia Golf Tour like Rookie's been known to do. You're trying to give us the scores from the Masters in a tournament being played in Bogota.
No, I think it was whoever said Father's Day weekend was correct. It's June 15th through the 18th. Yeah. There is some qualifying tournaments this weekend, though, because did you see we have, well, first off, there was an 18-year-old who won on the LPGA this weekend.
Yes.
It's not this weekend.
She was an amateur last week. She won the NCAA.
Yeah.
Right?
Good for her.
Yes.
And we have allegedly, this is what I was talking about when I got confused, there's a 13-year-old male teenager attempting to qualify for the male U.S. Open.
Okay.
13 years old?
We've had 13-year-old girls,
incredible on both sides.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it's supposed to be a man. You, of course, were being transported back home and didn't get to see the Memorial. You should have seen
the playoff.
You should have seen the crowd.
Yeah.
There had to be, were you see the playoff? There had to be 50,000 people on that hole. What's wrong with you people?
Yeah.
Jack's getting a little old.
Yeah, he is. So is Barbara.
Yeah.
They had to make the pilgrimage up there to kiss their rings.
Yeah, they have to talk about what a thrill. I was hoping that...
you know what the papers don't do anymore? They don't put down money won.
No, they don't.
I want to know how much you won.
The first agate you get doesn't have money, so they just put that in and get on with life.
I want the money
I
won.
was hoping anyway when they asked Vicar Hovland about what a thrill it was that he was going to say, we don't know much about him in Norway or something, but you have to say about what a thrill it was.
He seems like a good guy.
He seems like a good kid, yeah. He played here, the year they had Morikawa, Matthew Wolff, and him.
The year Wolf won?
Yeah, and Hollis got him in their first tournament because they were the year Wolf were on, who's the one who can't play anymore.
He's with Liv.
Yeah, but he doesn't do anything with them either. But he thought Morikawa and Hovland were great guys. He said Wolf was a little different.
Yeah,
he's a high-strung fellow, I guess, but he won there. So, it was maybe Victor will show up because of all the Norwegians in Minnesota, huh?
There are plenty.
Yes, but it was amazing crowd. I think Liv's going to be around, though. They're starting to draw people.
You haven't told me what you think of the NBA.
I thought that Miami is a pretty astounding story in the sense they got these guys that kind of came out of nowhere. And they get them. They make threes all over the place, and they win a game. There's Strus, he was nobody. Vincent, nothing. A guy named Martin, who was a big star in the last series. And then Duncan Robinson, who is a draft choice, but had a terrible year and wasn't playing a lot. He comes and wins the game in the second half. I think it's been pretty good. Same problem everybody else has. The fourth quarter can take an hour and a half while they review every little thing. And
do you have a membership to The Athletic? Are you can log on to it?
I don't think. I think mine lapsed. I don't think.
Because there was a piece in The Athletic, it's getting to be 2 weeks ago, about how the Panthers were put together, and I really wanted to read that, and they wouldn't let me read it on the internet.
No, you got to be a subscriber.
I'm not gonna.
It's pretty cheap.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna need it twice a year. For that.
Yeah. Well, they do a lot of stuff, but a lot of national stuff. So they. But I think New York Times owns it now.
I didn't know that.
They bought it. Yeah, they bought it a little over a year ago. So, you know what though, and this isn't 100%, but they seem to be fairly positive about things. They're not quite the cranky bastards we are in the newspaper game. I think the whole New Deal is try to get along with people, which is, I don't think that's bad, but it's too late for me. I mean, I'm not changing.
Why would you change everything now?
Yeah, right. I mean, it's, I saw some stuff this week. I said, okay, they can't really believe this, but, it's going to, the public's going to like it and stuff, a very positive thing. I don't want to get into it. I said, I just haven't been able to make that transition of writing what I don't believe in order for people to think more highly of me. It's too late. What do I care?
Were you disappointed in the Twins crowds this weekend?
Not terribly. 29,000 on Saturday night. They had 26 and 29. Yesterday was 23.
Yeah.
We don't like the heat. Not many on Thursday. But you know what I'm sick of? Prince night.
Yeah, how many
Come
hours?
on.
Every year?
They've done it every year for 6.
Yeah.
There's got to be a statute of limitation.
I would think
When
so.
did he die? 5
2016.
years ago? 2016. That's enough. We don't need another
That's
Prince
7
yet.
years.
We don't need another damn Prince T-shirt.
Yeah.
They came and I was in the press box that night. They said they come in with the giveaways if you want them. I don't want a Prince T-shirt.
No.
But look at it. It's all crazy stuff on there.
Yeah.
I mean, let the little guy go.
Rest in peace.
I wonder if his heirs, whoever they ended up being, because that was a confused mess. I wonder if they get a cut. Do they get a piece of all these
Probably
Prince
all
nights?
part of his estate.
Yeah. Prince. Have we ever figured out the estate? I don't know.
It has been settled. I don't know how many relatives finally developed.
Did he ever? Was there ever a Mrs. Prince?
It was a couple.
Oh, was it? Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how tall was he? 5'3"?
A little guy.
Yeah, he was a little guy. I know that. But the Sid story is true. Sid loved screaming at him, "Hey, Prince."
Yep.
Hey, Prince. And Prince coming over and saying, "Hello, Mr. Hartman."
Yeah.
That is a true story.
That was Miami Super Bowl.
Yes, Miami Super Bowl. That is.
And Prince knew damn well who Sid was.
Oh, of course. He was, he
Grew up with him.
He wanted to be a basketball player in North High. You know, that was his goal.
Yeah.
People tell me he was a good guitar player. I never paid any attention.
He could play.
He was good.
Yeah,
okay.
he was all right.
He was a good guitar player. Yeah.
He could probably play every instrument.
Great work on the height, 5'3".
That's Pat came up with that.
Oh, was that you that said that,
Was
Pat?
he only
I'm sorry.
5'3"?
And I looked at Joe. My
No
apologies.
wonder he couldn't play basketball for North. Too
5'3".
damn short. 5'3".
But that's why he screwed his feet up and his legs and got in so much pain because he wore heels.
Oh, really?
To elevate his height.
So he didn't
jump
look
off
so
a
sharp.
piano and land on those heels.
Oh,
it hurt you.
Yeah, that would hurt you. That would hurt you. So, you watching much TV lately?
No.
You don't watch series, do you?
I watched Peaky Blinders.
Okay.
And I liked it.
Love and Death.
Okay, I don't know that one.
Olsen, what's her first name? The actress. Not Emily. What's it's about a true murder case in Texas.
Is it a series?
This is 7 weeks, yeah.
7 weeks?
First one you can kind of go through in a couple of weeks, but it's really good.
Wait a minute, 7 years worth?
7 weeks.
7 weeks. So seven altogether episodes.
7 episodes.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Olsen?
Elizabeth Olsen.
I could do 7 episodes.
Elizabeth Olsen is going to win every award they have to give.
Really?
She's the culprit in the thing, but it's fantastic. But you know the thing, Kirsten Dunst's husband, Kirsten Dunst, a babe, right?
I guess.
She's married to this big lump, Jesse Plemons, right? Isn't she, Roscoe?
In real
will look
life,
that
you mean?
up.
In real life, I think she is. And this guy has made a fantastic career the last 6 or 7 or 8 years playing the schlup. Mm-hmm. And isn't she married?
Yeah,
to him?
Jesse Plemons as of
Well, how can he
2022, so
do it?
new.
There must be something going on there someplace in his anatomy. I don't get it.
Opposites attract, Pat.
He's an opposite of everybody. He's a lump. But he plays.
What era is this set in? Current?
I know, 30 years ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, down in Texas. And it's,
Love and Death.
Oh, your wife would love it.
Say it in the microphone?
Love and Death.
And it comes up on if I say it in the microphone.
Yeah, they should be able to find it.
Netflix?
No, it's on one of the other ones.
Oh, we got those.
Mac. Oh, we got all of them.
Yeah.
You know what? I thought I was saving big money when I got off of Comcast. I think I'm spending more.
Yeah.
All the apps.
Yeah.
We got apps, and then you call up an app, and they got on that app, they got the same thing that you're paying money that you got separately that you're paying for. If it's on one, I want the bride to find out what apps we're already getting before we order that same app separate.
Remember when everybody wanted freedom so they could watch the sports that they wanted to watch? And only that, right?
Yes.
Now we're coming back the other. I just want everything in one place.
Yes, right.
You had it all along.
The people my age have the shut-ins, as Sid used to call them.
Mm-hmm.
The shut-ins are out of luck. We got Apple, we got Amazon, we got games. This year they're going to have an NFL playoff game on Peacock. You know, I think it was one of NBC's games that they could have put anywhere, and they're putting it on Peacock.
Well, when the Twins are on Apple TV,
I
can't watch it.
No, you haven't gotten there yet.
I don't know how to do it.
By the Apple app sucks. They got about 3 shows a year you want to watch. So it's not worth it.
I talked with you know John Harrison, obviously. I've talked with him before. I still can't figure out what the MLS was doing by putting most of their games on Apple TV Plus.
No, nobody watches them, I'm sure. But I can tell you, I got to look it up and see. Johnny Harrison is still, let me see. I don't know how this happened, but where are my phone numbers?
Oh, no. What is he in your phone as?
Johnny Harrison. Where is he? Has still got the star as my contact. So John Harrison is still my contact. So if they find me dead on the street or having a terrible heart attack, where's John live now?
He's
out in the suburbs.
He's about an hour from here. Hold on, Pat. Just hold on.
What should we do with him? Should we keep him alive?
Who's John Harrison?
He was a producer back there, and I was putting his name in, and somehow he ended up being my official contact. And it's too funny to change. So
is that what that means? If it's got a star?
It's got the big star. That means
I was wondering who the hell that
if they find you near death, they're going to have what they should do with you.
John Harrison is my Loons contact because he is still the pre and post match show
Mine's
on
a kid I
AM
used to have.
1500.
One of your kids?
I didn't know I had that.
Mine's Jonathan Harrison.
Now, does Jonathan know?
He knows, yes. We used
I
to joke
also
about-
have Greg Holcomb, the artist for Garage Logic.
He's one, too.
He's a
contact, too.
yeah, and the CP is a
Yeah,
contact.
CP's a contact. I only got one, John. It's up to John Harrison. Should we harvest his organs? It's up to Johnny to decide.
I still have. Do you guys? Well, I am diabetic, and sorry to hijack Monday Night Sports Talk, but I wear one of these in case they notice. But I also have the old school. Do you guys have a wallet card for anything?
No.
And I always laugh at the wallet card. Do you think if they're trying to revive me or get me right in a hurry, they're going to go rifling through my wallet to see what it says?
Unbelievable. Anyway, we're good.
Yep.
That was a hell of a show.
All right.
That was great.